What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Vibes of Furs here, and today I'm going to be having the absolute honor of releasing my debut video on this channel. Just a quick, brief overview of what this channel is going to be like. I'm just going to be releasing storytelling videos with some calm gameplay footage in the background to keep you guys entertained. I don't want my voice to be, boring you guys out. I hope, the video is entertaining. I hope the gameplay is entertaining. If not, no worries. There is going to be more content down the line, and I hope you guys enjoy the story. So, this story isn't really, my deepest story. I'm not reaching too far deep in the bag, but it's definitely a fun story that I'm going to enjoy sharing with you guys. So, this is the story of me wanting to become an apprentice electrician. So, this happened around a year or so after graduating high school. I was about 18, 19 years old, and I really didn't know what the heck I wanted to do with my life, just like any other 18, 19-year-old would. So, I had been to community college for one semester after graduating, and honestly, I dropped it halfway through the first semester. I was like, screw this. Let's try out some other things. Started working some other jobs or whatever. Eventually, I got to the point I wanted to join the trades and try and start a serious career. So, luckily enough, my mom, being the absolute goat she is, found that there's a master electrician who owns his own business living on the same street as us. So one morning, my mom hits up this electrician. This is how she found out about him in the first place. She hits him up and to fix a light bulb or like a light switch, something like that in our house. I don't know where the heck I was at, dude. I was probably asleep or doing something. And my mom, asked him if he was hiring. Sorry, he, not she. She asked him if he was hiring, and he said yes. Just I'd like to meet your son one day and just have a quick conversation before whatever. So about a week later, I end up going to the dude's house, and this guy eventually, became my boss. And for privacy's sake, we're gonna call him Bill. So I started working about 2 days after me and Bill had this conversation at his house. And me and Bill, from the first day, from the jump, we didn't get along. We did not click. We knew, at least I knew, that there was going to be some sort of, complications going to happen on the site, during our conversations, somewhere in this job, not good things were going to happen. And we definitely did not click. So this is probably my favorite part of the story. Actually, not probably, it is. My boy, for privacy's sake, again, this is my coworker. We're going to be calling him Chris. Chris was the absolute freaking man, dude. Chris carried this job while I was working there. It was just me, Bill, the boss, and Chris. It was just us three. Dude had a very small business going on, nonetheless successful, but small. So after the first day, the job, I would mainly just be with Chris at the job. Just me and Chris. I would rarely ever see Bill after that first day. Bill would go to another site, and he would send me and Chris off to another site. And, dude, me and Chris absolutely clicked. Chris was, dude, just the freaking man. That's the last time I'm going to say it, but he was the man, bro. Absolute GOAT. So me and Chris clicked on mad things. Like, we clicked over celebrities. We clicked over sports. I mean, dude, he absolutely reawakened this side of me that loved soccer. I grew up playing soccer, watching the World Cup. Those are core memories for me. And Chris absolutely reawakened this side in me, that absolute culture, world-class side. And, it was a freaking blast. Working with Chris was a time, man. It was an absolute time. Chris, no doubt, carried the entirety of my experience as an electrician. So, next one I wanted to talk about was the culture of working as an electrician. So, I was also going to school once a week for journeyman classes. And what I really picked up on was, first of all, everyone in that class was people, from my age, from 18 all the way up until dudes literally about to retire, like almost in their 70s. And what I picked up on about the kids my age, the dudes around my age, that they were like born into the business. They had dads or moms or uncles or whatever, people in their family that already had owned businesses and, brought them into that. So they had that in their blood, dude. And I did not. I don't have anybody I got a pretty big family, dude. And I have nobody in my family that works in the trades whatsoever. No electricians, no plumbers, none of that. So I was already starting off, not in the home field. I was not in the familiar areas whatsoever. We were essentially Dora the Explorer out here in an exploration arc. Big time for exploration. So, with this culture also came expectations. Big expectations. Being hired as an apprentice, you're already expected to be damn good at your job. You're supposed to be knowing what you're doing. And man, I did not know how to even install a light bulb. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I did not know how to do most of the basic stuff until about a month and a half into my job, 2 months damn near. And everybody else, nope, nada. They were absolute experts. So, you know, I'm just out here not having a single clue. The job is not going into my favor. It's not going in my favor at all. And, that's when I started to have my first, yeah, this isn't it thought. And, as time goes by, about another month into my job, um, I'm not clicking with my boss, man. We're getting to more and more arguments, more and more fights. He's threatening to fire me. We want someone more experienced, whatever. I understand him. He was not a bad guy whatsoever, but he was running on very tight money, very tight schedule. He needed efficiency, he needed experience, and that is very understandable. I did not have any experience. So, I get some pretty devastating news about 4 months working into the job. And it is absolutely heartbreaking. I find out that Chris is putting in his 2 weeks. Yup, I'm absolutely in shock here. Chris is putting in his 2 weeks. I was like, Chris, how could you do this to me, brother? We had a thing going on. you know, okay, I'm doing too much, but I was shocked, bro. Chris was absolutely carrying this job for me on his back. I said it plenty of times. Chris was the man, and now he's leaving. But, came to my senses eventually. I understand the man. I understand him. He had been working for Bill for about 2 to 3 years, and he would go the distance, dude. He would leave his house. Chris would leave his house at 4 in the morning and drive all the way. It was about an hour drive all the way to Bill's house. Leave his car there, get in the work van, and pick me up. Chris was going the absolute distance. Dude, I could not tell you why Chris was working for Bill after having to do all that, doing the absolute most. So eventually, Chris, the GOAT, left, and it was just me and Bill. That lasted for maybe a month. Not much time at all. And, but as expected though, me and Bill, we were not getting along. We were not friends. We had nothing, we had nothing going on at all. Everything negative. So I got laid off eventually in a pretty crappy way. But, I understand the man. I understand Bill. He needed someone with, who was more efficient, who was more experienced. And I did not have any of that. Definitely no experience. So to conclude my story time, I'm not working as an electrician anymore. I've actually been in college for about the last year, year and a half studying psychology now, and I'm having an absolute time studying that, and I'm just loving it, honestly. And now I'm uploading YouTube videos. So thank you guys for sticking around and listening to the story. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and there definitely will be more to come. Thank you and peace.